So we got a screener from Paramount. Paramount Plus has a new movie coming out, directed by Brian Bertino, and stars Dakota Fanning. And this is actually kind of technically a Christmas movie. But this is about a woman who is alone at home at night, and she gets a knock on the door. Never answer. Never answer your door. She opens it. There's a woman outside who seems lost. She invites her in. Never do that. Never invite anyone in that you don't know. And she gives her a box. She gives her a set of instructions, and then she departs. Of course, she thinks she's insane and nothing will come of this, and she is wrong. Something comes of it. Yeah, so Brian Bertino is a director that, I think is a quite talented person and has made some very good films in the past. And him paired with Dakota, who I think is one of the greatest child actors of all time and still is a very good actress. I thought that, okay, this could be something really good here.
Yeah.
And after we got this Richard Kelly's The Box style opening, I was like, okay, this is cool. It's got good atmosphere, right? It like feels very like dreamlike. I would say it was the best way to describe this film. It feels like you're kind of stuck in a nightmare, which is a great thing for horror. That's what you want it to feel like. So yeah, you have this like initial setup. You have Brian Bertino, you have Dakota Fanning, you have a really good looking film, you have a good premise and a good setup. And then I feel like kind of all of that just doesn't really amount to much in the end. I don't think the movie's bad per se. I don't think it's like a bad film. I just don't think that it ever really goes as far as it should have, or that it explores things well enough. Like our main character in particular, they paint her in a certain light in the opening, and I'm thinking, okay, like we're gonna get a deep exploration of this character because we spend the lion's share of the film with her and her alone, and she's a talented enough actress to pull off that feat, and I think she does fine and well here. It's just that there's not really a lot of depth to her as a character. Like, I don't feel like I really know a whole hell of a lot more than her than we did in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And I just feel like with this kind of film, where it's more psychological and it's a character study of sorts because you're dealing with one character that's dealing with an impossible situation, I would just think that the most obvious thing to do here would be to explore this character in a very deep way, to get into her mindset and her background and everything, and it just wasn't there. And then the horror just kind of was like, it was okay, but it was a lot of just kind of like basic, generic stuff, and I was like, oh, this is, I don't know. What did you think? Because I don't really know how you feel about this film. You knew what I felt getting out of this, but not the other way around.
Yeah, I think I'm a little higher on it than you are.
Okay.
I thought it had pretty good atmosphere, and I think the horror works fine for me. I like the concept a lot. It's pretty gimmicky and not like a totally new concept, but I like it in this. And I think the performances are really good, really solid. But I do think I agree with you as far as like kind of wanting more exploration around the character, like the main character, specifically, and just getting, I don't know if I would say backstory, but maybe that's what I was like looking for, is like a little bit of like how she kind of comes to this place, because it does set up, this just interesting like start to the film of like where she's at in her life and like what she's returning to and everything. And so we get a little bit, I think, of like maybe what causes this like interruption in her life, but I do feel like there's still more, and it's not a lot. It's a very little amount, kind of used sort of as like a gag for like a scare, and I think that there could have been. I feel like I wanted more, like you. I just wanted a little bit more depth in some of the, like, the things that are requested of her. I'll say.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I think that there could be more. I don't know if I would say like metaphor necessarily. Like, it doesn't have to be like.
Sure.
Although that would have been cool, but just a little bit more with that type of stuff. And I am also kind of a bit confused by the ending.
Me too.
As well. Like,
Me too.
I sort of think I understand what's going on, but I'm also still a little confused. So
it's a very unsatisfactory ending for this film, and I wasn't all that invested anyway, but I was really hoping they would pull something off in the end. You know, with these gimmick-style horror films, and with this being R-rated, this isn't like some PG-13 kind of, you know, Truth or Dare or something. They can kind of go harder, and it's not necessary, right? Like, that's not even what I'm getting at, but I just never really felt like what's happening to her sucks. I'm not going to say it doesn't. I'm not saying she had, like, you know, this was some picnic in the park, right? That's of course not reality. But so many of the, like, moments where she had to make a decisive choice in this kind of random allotment of time, which I never really understood. And that was another part of the film, is that there was supposed to kind of be a ticking clock element that was introduced, and it was just so willy-nilly for me. It was kind of like, is there a lot of time left or isn't there? I don't really know.
Yeah.
The device that they have just doesn't really show time very well in how it's framed and how it's used. So that took a little bit of the tension out of the scene. And then just kind of like the mystery surrounding what it is that she needs to do. Once the realizations come to light, none of them really ever felt that, like, impactful, where you as the audience, when you come to the realization, maybe with her or before her, of like, oh shit, like, that's a really tough choice and this and that. Like, I'm not saying these are easy choices. They're not. And anybody would be like, what are you talking, you know, if like they were actually put in this situation and be like, this is crazy, I have to do this thing. But as far as how it plays out in the film, there's just not an impact like where I'm watching a Saw movie or something, and and then like the rules are laid out, and it's like, oh shit, that sucks. How do they get out of this one? Or like, are they going to be able to do that? Or like, oh boy, oh here we go. I just never felt that. It's just kind of like, once she figures things out, it's like she just does them, and it's just over and moving on, and it's like, oh, okay. There wasn't really anything to that. Okay, cool. And I don't know who to blame on that one. I guess it's a combination of the two, between the actor and the director and the writing, right? And Brian did both the writing and the directing. So I just think this is a misfire. I don't think it's a bad watch. I think that if you're on Paramount Plus during the Halloween season, and you're like, oh, this could be cool. If you got nothing else to watch, sure, throw it on, see how it lands with you. But I just wasn't as invested in this as I wish I could have been. And the nightmarish elements, while cool at sometimes, the atmosphere is fine. Like, it's fine. It's like a competently made movie, but it just ultimately fizzles out in kind of every area for me.
Yeah, I think it could have gone a little bit more intense, a little bit harder, in not necessarily like any kind of like a gore way or anything, but just emotionally.
No, put her through the ringer.
Emotionally and stressfully, like the film is supposed to be very, very tense and kind of edge of your seat type of thing. And yeah, I think that they're definitely, like as you had said, with the time-keeping element, that is sort of missed out in the film. And as we already said, just the ending is not satisfying. So I'm with you where it's like, if you are interested in seeing it, like if you're already like, yeah, I kind of want to check it out, and you just happen to come across it or whatever on Paramount Plus, then I mean, definitely watch it and make up your own opinion about it. But yeah.
I mean, you do agree with me though that like when we're introduced to this character, she is presented in a way where she has layers of mystery kind of surrounding her.
Yeah.
And after about 10 minutes, we get a kind of a basic understanding of her. And then we're like, okay, like, I can't wait to see what's causing all of this. Like, why she's where she's at, whatever. And then if you fast forward to the end, I don't feel like you've learned much more about her.
Yeah.
And that just is a failure to me, because that's really kind of the whole purpose of this film.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to get out of this movie except for scares, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just the scares. And it's like, no, this is supposed to be a psychological exploration of a character's psyche through the horror lens, and I don't know, man, it just did not work anyway.
Yeah, I think it fails.
I don't think you're that much higher on it than I am.
I'm not that
listening
much
to you.
I don't know. I guess I'm also kind of comparing it because we sort of talked about, we watched this other movie like after this or during this as well, and it's just kind of like, of the two, this one is a lot better than that one. But yeah. So I think actually that has made me feel like maybe a little higher on it,
Sure.
Which sucks, but that can happen.
Well, when we sat down to record this, I was like, I am. How did I phrase this? I said, I'm negative on both of these films.
Yeah.
Pitfall being the other one, a Screamfest movie that we watched, but I am so much lower on Pitfall than I am on this one.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I'm slightly negative.
Right.
Like, if you're in the pendulum of like positive and negative, I'm just like, I'm like, I'm kind of slanting towards the negative. But Pitfall is a pitfall of negativity. It's everything I could hate in a movie. So it is weird to do these back to back. We watched these back to back and we're reviewing them back to back, and I'm definitely down on both. I'm definitely like thumbs up or thumbs down if I had to use some kind of arbitrary metric like that. I was like one or down. It's like, yeah, they're both down, but one's way down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. I get the comparison of like, this is way better than the other movie, but it's still, that doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, I want to see more Dakota Fanning.
I do too.
In movies, and you liked her last film a lot.
I did.
And a lot of people were really down on that one. The Watchers.
Yeah, I did like that film.
M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's film. Yeah, so she's got the talent. I mean, she's a wonderful actress. I don't know, outside of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which she plays a very small role in. I can't remember the last time I saw her in a movie that I loved her in. Like, I loved the movie that she was in and as star of it. So I would love to see her make a movie that I love again.
Yeah. It's
been a little while. Yeah. I'll look through her filmography after we get off this. Maybe I'll be like, wait a minute. But it's a shame. It always bums me out when I see talent like this, like Brian Bertino. What would Brian Bertino do if he was here right now? Every single time I see this guy's name, I start singing that song in my head from South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Anybody else? Anybody else? It's so close to Brian Bertino. Anyway, that's it. I'm done.
That's it.
Anything more?
No.
Okay. It's on Paramount Plus, October 10th. Check it out if you want.